A very good evening to all brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. Today is 16 January 2024, Tuesday class. So we'll be continuing our sharing from this book, the wonderful Dhamma Lotus Flower Sutra. We are at Volume 3, Chapter 2, page 512. Okay. As usual, we will gather and have our physical puja. Namo 本师释迦牟尼佛。Namo 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 观世音菩萨。Namo 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 阿弥陀佛。Namo 阿弥陀佛。南无阿弥陀佛，南无弥勒佛，南无弥勒佛，南无弥勒佛，南无普贤菩萨，南无普贤菩萨，南无普贤菩萨，南无地藏王菩萨，南无地藏王菩萨，南无地藏王菩萨，南无佛菩萨，南无佛菩萨。นะโมพุทธะอะระหังสัมมาสัมพุทโธภะคะวะพุทธังภะคะวันตังอะภิวาเทมิสวากาโตภะคะวะตาธัมโมธัมมังนามัสสามิสุปฏิปันโนภะคะวะโตสาวกสังโฆสังฆังนามามินะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะบุตตังสรณังกัจฉามิธัมมังสรณังกัจฉามิสังฆังสรณังกัจฉามิตุติยมปิบุตตังสรณังกัจฉามิตุติยมปิธัมมังสรณังกัจฉามิตุติยมปิสังฆังสรณังกัจฉามิตติยมปิบุตตังสรณังกัจฉามิตติยมปิธัมมังสรณังกัจฉามิตติยมปิสังฆังสรณังกัจฉามิปานาติปาตาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิอาดินาดานาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิกาเมสุมิจฉาจาระเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิมุสาวาทาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิสุราเมรยามัจจาปมาทฐานะเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ We'll continue our chanting from the Padipa Puja onward. Ganna sarapa dittena dippena tamadang sina tiloka dipang sambuddhang pujayami tamonodang ganda sambara yuttena duppena hang sugang hina pujaye pujaniyang tang Puja bhajana muttamang Vanna ganda gunopetang Etang kusuma santatin Pujayami munindasa Siri pada sarorohe Pujemi bedang kusumena nena Punnena muktena cha hotu mokkang Pupang milayati yatta idang me Kayo tata yati binasa bawang Adivase tuno bante Paniyang parikapitang Anukampang upadaya Patigan hatu muttamang Adivase tuno bante Pale parikapitang Anukampang upadaya Patigan hatu muttamang Adivase tuno bante Bojanang parikapitang Anukampang upadaya Patigan hatu muttamang. Now we will chant the Puja aspiration based on our understanding of the significance of all these Puja offerings. Significance of offering of light. May this offering of light to the Buddha brings forth the causes and conditions to illuminate our mind and help arise the needed clarity and understanding to dispel all darkness of ignorance therein. Significance of offering of water. May this offering of pure, clear, cool water lead us to the pure, clear Dhamma that cools and doses off the fires of all defilements within our mind. Significance of offering of incense. May our morality, virtue, and understanding shine forth far and wide, just like the fragrance of this incense, which we are offering to the Blessed One, who is perfect in wisdom and virtue. Significance of offering of fruits. May this offering of fruits remind us of the Dana Parami of generosity and the fruit of our karma, so that we will diligently strive on with heedfulness to attain the path and fruition soon as possible. Significance of offering of flowers. May this constant offering of flowers to the Blessed One strengthen our faith and constantly remind us of the impermanence of this body, so that we will diligently and sincerely strive on to cultivate Sila, Samadhi, and Panya, leading to ultimate liberation, the born-free Nibbana. Making of overall aspiration. By the power of all these merits, born of these offerings, may our spiritual faculty of Saddha, Virya, Sati, Samadhi, and Panya be further strengthened until they become balas or powers, sharing and transform merits to all beings. May these merits be shared and transferred to all beings without exception, especially to those who have the condition and affinity to receive them. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, let us pay respect to Puja. Buddhang pujemi. Dhammang pujemi. Sanghang pujemi. Just relax completely, body and mind. Then second support is maintain awareness within. Whatever arises, aware, finish. For us to know things, we need the senses. So all activity of mind, they can only arise through our sixth sense door. at the sense basis. So our awareness should be within this sense basis. Then whatever sense organ that trigger off that consciousness, we just aware, finish. So it can be your seeing consciousness, hearing consciousness, smell, taste, tactile, or thought consciousness. These are the 6 types of consciousness that may manifest. So whenever they manifest, maintain awareness. Do not allow it to continue, proliferate. Otherwise, the thinking process or the mundane thinking leading to heedless thinking will surface. Then when you are lost in thought, you cannot be aware. So understanding this is very important. Where man can only do one thing at a time. Either you are completely silent without thought, then you can be aware of what is going on within the moment. If you cannot be aware, then the other possibility is you are lost in thought. Preoccupied in what you are thinking, feeling, emotions. All this trigger of more and more sankhara activity and more thought processes that make the living being heedless. So awareness-based meditation is to stabilize all this sankhara activity so that they slow down and cease. Then what remains is just our true mind, the pure mind, our awareness nature within. So if you can continue to relax, maintain awareness, then the third support is to stabilize this awareness whenever they arise. Then you will develop the awareness nature within. Now you will start to understand why I said in the early days, when you are developing the awareness-based meditation, don't try to know, don't try to do. Because the knowing is always from the thought, the doing is also always from the thought. So when you understand that, you only need to be aware, finish, no more thinking. So once you are able to stabilize the awareness nature, then you can do the fourth support, which is trust. Trust your nature to develop the meditative movement within. Trust means the thought is not involved. Your brain, your memory, your conditioning, whatever belief system from memory, they will not be involved. It will not come in and interfere with your awareness-based meditation. So this awareness-based meditation is very important. It allows you to develop the inner awareness until it becomes very stable. Once it becomes very stable, then you can make use of it to meditate, to develop the understanding, to see things as they are clearly. The awareness nature is just the silent mind without thought. The awareness or sati that is just completely silent without thought means the silent observation of the reality of what is. So this ability to observe is the direct seeing. Can give rise to wisdom because it enables one to see things as they are without the thought or the memory or the conditioning coming in to interfere and misinterpret what you see or what you perceive. Then when you are completely silent, just aware, the phenomena will tell you the story. You can actually insight into phenomena. and realize the universal characteristics of anicca, dukkha, and anatta. These three universal characteristics, or the three marks of existence, are common in all phenomena. All phenomena exhibit these three characteristics. So when you're completely silent, just aware, all those manifestations of phenomena will give rise to this insight. You will suddenly realize that the universal characteristics are there in every phenomena, every activity that arises. Then you start to understand the deep meaning of what the Buddha meant. Our world is a dependent originating world. Everything is condition arising, cause of phenomena, not a permanent unchanging entity. Dependent on condition, they arise. When condition cease to be, they cease to be. When condition continue to sustain itself, then the phenomena continue to evolve and move. That's the reason why the Buddha said, whatever arises, there must be causes and conditions behind. So to develop the wisdom is to see all this. When we can see all this, we develop the understanding and we can awaken to this understanding, which is wisdom. Then we are not deluded anymore. Then you will not cling on to things, hold on to things. Your everything is not so real, not what you think. They are all dependent originating entity, not a permanent unchanging entity that you can grasp onto, cling onto, hold on to and say, this is me, this is I, therefore all these are mine. No way. Okay, with this introduction, explanation, I will let you meditate. So remember the four support. First three, relax, maintain awareness, then stabilize the awareness. Then after that, develop the trust. Stay at the heart, don't do anything. Let the silent mind or awareness nature do the meditation, do the movement, the internal movement that will actually help you to locate the gateway to your nature. You all can slowly, mindfully come out of the meditation. Try to maintain whatever inner peace, inner calmness, and inner awareness that you have already developed. These are the mind states that you need to make use of while living your daily life, so that you can be mindful in the midst of life. These are the spiritual faculties mind state, especially sati or mindfulness. The actual English word should be awareness. When you are just aware, there is no knowing. It's just an awareness. But because you are aware, you can recollect. You can recall. So sati is just aware. Before the knowing, before the perception, it's just the awareness within. Invocation to the Devas. In this universe, in their entirety, let the deities or Devas come here. Let them hear the good teachings of the King of Sages, which gives heaven and release, Nibbana. This is the time to listen to the teaching. This is the time to listen to the teaching. This is the time to listen to the teaching. Samanta Chakawalisu Atraha Gachantu Devata Saddhammang มุนิราจาสสุนันตุสักกโมกขดังธัมมสวนันกาโลอายังบาดันตาธัมมสวนันกาโลอายังบาดันตาธัมมสวนันกาโลอายังบาดันตานะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะอิติปิโสภะคะวะอะระหังสัมมาสัมพุทโธวิจาจารณสัมปันโนสุขโตโลกวิดูอนุตตโรปุริสธัมมสารติสัตตาเดวามนุสานังบุตโตภะคะวะติสวากาโตภะคะวะตาธัมโมสันติติโกอะกาลิโกเอหิปัสสิโกโอปานายิโกปัจจยตังเวดิตาโบวิโนหิติสุปฏิปันโนภะคะวะโตสาวกสังโฆอุจุปฏิปันโนภะคะวะโตสาวกสังโฆญาณปฏิปันโนภะคะวะโตสาวกสังโฆสามีจิปฏิปันโนภะคะวะโตสาวกสังโฆยาดิดังจัตตาริปุริสโยกานิอัตตปุริสปุกาลาเอสาภะคะวะโตสาวกสังโฆอาหุเนโยปาหุเนโยตักเขเนโยอัญจลิการะเนโยอนุตตรังปุญญังเกตังโลกัสสติสาธุสาธุสาธุ Okay, y'all can be seated. Then we will continue from where we stopped. We are at page 512, volume 3, chapter 2, Expedient Devices. We are basing on the commentaries of Master Shen Hua. So this is the Tuesday class where we shared the wonderful Dhamma Lotus Flower Sutta. In Mahayana tradition, they call it the 妙法蓮華經. So this is a very important sutta. This is the supreme vehicle teaching that the Buddha teach for the development of the Buddhahood cultivation. So those who take the Bodhisattva way to perfect themselves to become Samma Sambuddha, they have to understand this teaching. That's why we are covering it. It has taken us, I think, quite a while already, maybe more than a year. So we are just at chapter 2, volume 3. There are still a lot of volumes. Okay, anyway, we'll continue. For those who are new, especially those from Singapore, Singhua Deo, I think I have to explain a bit. Our Sunday class is mainly following the Heart Sutta. That one is very useful to develop the basic understanding of the Theravada traditions, basic teaching, or what we call the provisional teaching that Sakyamuni Buddha taught. Whereas this Tuesday class is the higher teaching. They call it the wonderful Dhamma Lotus Flower Sutra, or in Mandarin is called 妙法蓮華經. So this sutta is a bit difficult to understand, but you don't have to worry. We follow these commentaries by Hsuan, then I will explain. I will try to explain. But certain aspect of the teaching, if it's too deep, you don't worry. You just let things be. Then later on, as you develop the cultivation, you will understand. Okay. Then there is another Thursday class where we will have the sharing at Pamasuri House, which is located in Subang, Subang Jaya. That one is based on our unique Dhamma code that I actually developed. The unique Dhamma code is a compilation of all the unique code, Dhamma code that I have shared with Kayanamita. There is a total of 160 plus. So every Thursday class we will go through that. That unique Dhamma code is very important because, like the word unique, in the sense that it points towards the teaching. It points towards the direct teaching. Means to develop the awareness nature within, to understand what that awareness nature is, how it's related to our mind. Basically, as a human being, we have two minds. One is our true mind, the silent mind, the awareness nature within. The other one is the mundane mind, the thinking mind. Or the Buddha call it Fan Sing, mundane mind, dependent originating mind. From the awareness nature, the mundane mind manifests due to causes and conditions. And understanding this is very important. Without a clear understanding of that true mind, the silent mind, you cannot progress in your meditation. You cannot develop the true wisdom born of direct seeing, the pure awareness nature. So that unique code is unique in the sense that all of the code are based on the understanding of the awareness nature. Then from there, I share those teachings. So you are a cultivator, you have developed the understanding of sati or mindfulness, stabilize it, leading to heedfulness. Then you will understand the deep meaning behind the unique code. Then all the other teaching you can penetrate. That's why the three classes, Tuesday class, Thursday class, and Sunday class, they are all different. Okay, now we will continue from our page 152. 512. We were halfway through, so I will continue to read. The sutta said, but those who do not study it will never come to understand it. So this one is very easy to comprehend. It's just like in the school or in the uni. If the lecturer or the teacher were to teach something, normally for the first time you hear it, you may not understand, because it may be a new topic, a new subject, which is quite new. Then if you do not study it, to develop the understanding of it, then you can never benefit from it. So it's the same with Dhamma. That's why, according to Sakyamuni Buddha, there are 3 ways to learn Dhamma. Or he called it the 3 phases of Dhamma. Phase 1 is the learning of the teaching. In Pali, he called it pariyatti. Pariyatti is the learning of the teaching. Nowadays, you can learn the Dhamma through listening to the sutta or listening to the Dhamma talk or Dhamma sharing by cultivator of the way who have the understanding. Then the other one is through reading, because with the availability of the internet, the books, you can read them. Then there is another one through recordings. All those that are recorded through the recorder. Or nowadays we got the pen drive and all those things, and like ours, Kayamita website, we have the Zoom recording, YouTube recording, the short video, everything. So if you listen to all this or read them out, you will develop the initial learning of the teaching. Unless you have a good guide and a good teacher who can summarize to you what this teaching is, otherwise it's not easy, because the teaching is like all over, everywhere. Like every topic is different. But when you develop the understanding, actually all the teachings, they are one teaching. They spin off from the essence of the Buddha's teaching, the Four Noble Truths. From there, all the teaching arise. So this understanding is very important. Then all the other teaching are called the essential Dhammas of the Buddha. The essential Dhamma is to complement the understanding of the Four Noble Truths. The Four Noble Truths, basically, the Buddha turned it 3 times. That's why in his first sermon to the 5 ascetics, when he met them, he taught this Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, the first sermon. And this teaching is basically the Four Noble Truths and its 3 turning. And like just now I try to explain, there are 3 ways to learn the Dhamma. First is learning of the teaching. Then the second phase is to put it into practice, to cultivate it. And that one, in Pali, the Buddha called it patipati. So to cultivate this teaching, you need to understand how the Buddha actually developed the 3 turning wisdom. The 3 turning of the Four Noble Truths correspond to the 3 types of wisdom that can arise. The first turning wisdom during the Buddha's time is based on listening only. At that time, no language, no writing. That's why you cannot read. You have to listen, and no recording. You have to actually wait for the Buddha to deliver the discourse, or Ananda or the disciple to repeat them. Otherwise, it's not easy. But nowadays, because of civilization's advancement, technology and all those things, we have improved on all the available resources to enable us to actually develop the first turning wisdom. So first turning nowadays, it can include listening and reading. So most of the time, if it's just pure listening, then if you can understand what you listen, there will be the first level of understanding which the Buddha called Suttamaya Panya. Sutta are the discourse of the Buddha. So wisdom born of listening to the sutta is the first level of wisdom. Then after that, the Buddha said, if you cannot really comprehend much or understand much under the first turning teaching, it's because you have not cultivated before from the past. But for those who have cultivated before from the past, the moment they listen, they can awaken, they can become enlightened being too. During the time of the Buddha, a lot of the disciples, they become first stage of sainthood, Sotapanna, or Sakadagami, second stage of sainthood, or Anagami, third stage of sainthood. Then quite a number became Arahant, the fourth stage of sainthood. So these are possible. But you must have good parami. You must have good cultivation from the past. Your past life cultivation and all those things. Then after listening, the Buddha said, if you don't have the strong past, you can move on to the second turning to help you stabilize the understanding. That stage is the second turning. The Buddha says the second turning you must reflect, contemplate and inquire into the first turning proclamation of the Four Noble Truths. Then under this reflection, contemplation and inquiry, he gives specific guidelines for each of the Four Noble Truths for you to develop it. So take for example the first Noble Truth of Dukkha. He said, this Noble Truth of Dukkha is to be understood. You have to understand it. Learning it as a theory is not sufficient. Understanding it is very important. Then under the contemplation, reflection or inquiry, you have to inquire, why did the Buddha say this? If I cannot understand the first Noble Truth reality, means when I confront them, then they condition my misery or suffering or affliction. I may not know that this is suffering. So that is the danger. Yeah. So the moment you understand already, then you know these are the 8 conditions or realities of life and existence that can bring about suffering or affliction to living being when you don't have the wisdom born of his teaching. Then after that, you continue with the second Noble Truth. The second Noble Truth says, the cause of arising of suffering, which is craving, is to be severed or to be rooted out, to be abandoned. Then you need to reflect, contemplate, inquire. Why did the Buddha say this? Because if you don't abandon it, it will trigger of suffering. That's why you need to abandon it. Then how to abandon it? You have to reflect. What did the Buddha teach? He taught us the 4 right efforts to overcome unwholesome thought, unwholesome speech, and unwholesome action. Then he taught us the 5 ways to overcome unwholesome thought, unwholesome speech, and unwholesome action. So from there, the teaching spin off, the essential Dhamma. That's how it come about. Then the third Noble Truth, cessation of suffering or Nibbana, can be realized in the here and the now. So under the second turning, the Buddha said, this cessation of dukkha or Nibbana is to be realized. If you cannot realize this, means you don't have the wisdom, the enlightenment, the understanding, then forever your suffering will not end, will not cease. Then under the fourth noble truth, he said, this noble eightfold path, which is the meditation as taught by the Buddha, is to be cultivated. You develop understanding, you don't cultivate it, no use. Like what the sutta mentioned, the Lotus Sutra just now. The Buddha may teach, proclaim, but if you don't put forth the diligence or effort or sincerity to diligently cultivate, is of no benefit. So this fourth noble truth, which is basically the cultivation of the Noble Eightfold Path, you have to cultivate so that the embodiment of this Noble Eightfold Path factor is with you. Then only you can become a living reality of the teaching. Once you have the embodiment of this Noble Eightfold Path factor, you become enlightened being. Because according to the Buddha, if you cultivate this Noble Eightfold Path, it will lead to the end of all suffering. You don't have to suffer anymore. And that is the beauty. So this second turning is very beautiful. Given all these four guides, you can actually reflect, contemplate, then inquire, then develop the cultivation of it one by one, one by one. It's a very extensive scope of cultivation. Then you have the third turning. The second turning, the Buddha says, once you develop it, the wisdom is called Chintamaya Panya. Panya is wisdom. Chinta is the wisdom born of reflection, contemplation, and inquiry, the second turning. Then there is a third turning, where the Buddha says, if you develop this awareness or mindfulness or sati within, then it can lead to stability, thereby enabling you to be heedful in the midst of life. When you can develop the awareness nature to be heedful in the midst of life, then enlightenment in the here and now is assured. That's why if you cultivate this meditative approach, or the Buddha call it the bhavana, then it will give rise to a third turning wisdom which is very, very penetrative. He called it bhavana maya panya. Means wisdom born of the meditative training, meditative approach, where everything is concerning sati, mindfulness, awareness, nothing else. So this is a brief explanation. Okay, we go back to the sutta now. So the sutta says, but those who do not study it will not come to understand it. This is obvious. So let's go through the commentary. So according to Master Sharon, he said, although the Buddha speaks the Dhamma for them, if they do not study it and put it into practice. So phase one Dhamma is study it, learning of it. Then phase two of Dhamma is putting it into practice. They will never be able to benefit from it or understand it. You must study and put it into practice before you can develop the understanding of it, before you can benefit from it, so that you can make use of it to help you understand life and live life without suffering. Then宣化continues, since they do not understand the Buddha Dharma, they will not, of course, be able to cultivate according to it. That's why the first turning is learning about the teaching. Pariyatti, the learning of the teaching. So unable to cultivate according to it, they will not be able to become Buddhas. Not only Buddha, they can't even become Aryas or sainthood. So if you can't even become Arya, you will remain as a Putujana, means an ordinary living being, the unenlightened living being, which they call Putujana. in Pali. So this aspect of understanding that these teachings that the Buddha has taught us, we have to study it, then put it into practice, cultivate and awaken to it. Then only we can develop the benefits of it. Then only you can develop the clear understanding of what this teaching is. Because this teaching, like I explained in the other session, is like the secret of life. When you understand the Dhamma, the essence of the Buddha's teaching, it's like you understand the secret of life, all of life, both mundane and supramundane. When you understand life, you will know how to live life. Then you will not suffer. And that is the purpose of learning the Dhamma. That's why cultivation is about learning, studying, then put it into practice. Then develop the three turning wisdom to awaken, to realize the truth. Okay, so hopefully this part can be understood. Then we move on. Since all of us already know, the sutta say, all Buddhas, master of the world. That is the sutta part. Then the commentary. Hsuan says, Sariputta, you and all the great arahats, the great bodhisattvas, all the great bhikkhus and others, already know the genuine wonderful Dhamma is set forth by the Buddha and masters of the world. Then the next part of the sutta says, they work by means of appropriate expedients, devices, or skillful means. The commentary explanation is this. The Buddha used clever expedient devices to teach living beings. Since you know this, you should have no further doubt. Let your heart be filled with joy, meaning hearing the wonderful Dhamma, Lotus Flower Sutta, you should be very happy. You should remember that it is difficult to encounter. Such affinity are not easy to come by. In fact, all the opening verse of the Mahayana Sutta, they have this, what they call wonderful expression. I found it. You listen. Verse for opening a sutta. So according to Mahayana tradition, they always have this opening verse. They say, the unsurpassed, profound and wonderful Dhamma is difficult to encounter in hundreds of millions of aeons. I now see and hear it, receive and uphold it, and I vow to phantom the Tathagata's true meaning. So this is the commonly recited verse for opening the sutta, is to let cultivator of the way understand that having the parami to receive such teaching is very rare. That's why he used the word the unsurpassed, profound and wonderful Dhamma. It's difficult to encounter in hundreds of millions of aeons. How long is that? That's really long. Then you make the affirmation, I now see and hear it, receive and uphold it, and I vow to phantom the Tathagata's true meaning. So if you have the understanding and the faith, all this will spur you towards cultivation. Okay? So this part is to complement what the sutta is trying to explain. Oh, we have a comment from Sister Singhua. He said, thank you very much, Brother Teo Sadhu. Deeply appreciate your kind explanation to help me get orientated to your talk on different day. Oh, good, Sadhu. You are most welcome, because not easy for new people. So that's why I need to explain it. Okay, we continue with the sharing, the sutta. So this part, like what Master Hsuan explained, right? The Buddha actually told Sariputta and all the arahats, including the bodhisattvas and great bhikkhus and others, to remind them that such genuine and wonderful Dhamma as set forth by the Sammasambuddha, which is masters of the world, are very difficult to come by. So they are really rare. Such affinity is not easy to come by. So when we are cultivator of the way with the understanding, especially based on what I explained to you all, this window, this sasana, this life that we have been endowed with by our good parami, good merits from the past, to be born as a human being, to be born during the Buddha sasana, to have the ability to encounter this teaching, the true Dhamma, is indeed very rare. And you already fulfill all these three, so you should strive on with heedfulness. Go all out to develop the understanding, so that all your future coming, birth and death, will be taken care of. No more regrets and no more problem. Okay, I will read on. The sutta continues. It says, you know you will reach Buddhahood. Means the cultivator of the way who have the faith and the understanding and understand the beauty of such teaching, then you develop the faith, then you persevere. With the sincerity, faith, you persevere. Then you know you will realize Sammasambuddhahood. Then I will read the sutta. Each one of you should know that you will certainly realize Buddhahood. So in the Dhamma Flower Assembly, all living beings are assured of their future Buddhahood. Sakyamuni Buddha has given them all prediction to that effect. So if you really have the parami, like those cultivators of the way at that time, they were there to listen to this beautiful, wonderful Dhamma, Lotus Flower Sutta teaching as expounded by Sakyamuni at that time. They were actually given the prediction that all of them will be assured of future Buddhahood. So that is the uniqueness and great effect of such Dhamma assembly. So for you all, I think also not so bad. At least now we go through this teaching, the wonderful Dhamma, Lotus Flower Sutta, where we expound similar teaching. So for you to have the good roots or good condition and affinity to listen to this, it means you have the parami to go this way, and you really can develop the faith, the sincerity to walk this way and persevere. You will fulfill or whatever pure and noble wishes. Okay. So in the Dhamma assembly, all living beings are assured of future Buddhahood. Sakyamuni Buddha has given them all prediction to that effect. So that is the uniqueness of that assembly. This concludes the second chapter and the first row out of the Dhamma Flower Sutta, Lotus Flower Sutta, the wonderful Dhamma Lotus Flower Sutta. I will now explain the verse in praise that follows the end of this row. So this is the last part, the summary part. So Shenhua explains that the world-honored one manifests portents. Maitreya wondered about the auspicious sign Manjushri explained them extensively for the sake of those assembled. The ancient Buddhas emitted the light from their hair mark. I think should be the hallmarks. The Dhamma was requested thrice. It's always 3 times. To set forth the fragrance of the Lotus Sutra, or wonderful Dhamma Lotus Flower Sutra. So this request, which I think was recited, homage to the wonderful Dhamma Lotus Flower Assembly of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. So they recited it 3 times. This verse sums up the first 2 chapters of the Sutta, means this Lotus Sutra. The world-honored one manifests potent, means the Buddha manifests 6 potents. And so Maitreya wondered about the auspicious sign. Normally, when great beings delivered their teachings and other things, especially Sammasa Buddha, there are a lot of these auspicious signs. And these are very common and very meaningful. So Maitreya Bodhisattva did not really understand why the Buddha manifests the potence. And so he requested Manjushri Bodhisattva to explain. So like in the earlier part of the sutta during the sharing, because Manjushri actually is foremost in wisdom. Manjushri Bodhisattva is very unique, very special, foremost in wisdom. And he has witnessed many of these wonderful Dhamma Lotus Flower Sutta assembly before. That's why he is able to actually help out to explain all this. That's why even Maitreya Bodhisattva also need to seek and requested Manjushri Bodhisattva to explain. So Manjushri explained them extensively for the sake of those who are there assembled. The ancient Buddha of the 10 directions, see, when this sutta was expounded, the ancient Buddha of the 10 directions emitted light from there. They use the word hair mark. I don't know why they use hair mark. Should be hallmark, to praise Sakyamuni Buddha. The Dhamma was requested thrice, 3 times. Means Sariputta requested the Buddha to speak the Dhamma 3 times, to set forth the fragrance of the wonderful Dhamma Lotus Flower Sutta, to speak the wonderful Dhamma Lotus Flower Sutta. So here it all started. Homage to the Dhamma Flower Assembly of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. So in just reciting this praise, you gain unlimited or limitless merits and virtue. That's why chanting the salutation, rejoicing, is very wholesome. Then Shenhua says, so in Japan, people recite it over and over, thinking they will gain great benefits. But Shenhua says, if they do not have a job, they get one. If they do not have food, they get food. If they do not have tea to drink, they get tea to drink. If they do not have wine to drink, they get wine to drink. It's incredibly wonderful, so they think. So this is a comment by Master Shenhua. Then for now, however, Shenhua said, I have food. So I do not need to recite it right now. Just explain it. Where he is the Dhamma teacher or Dhamma master who is teaching. Okay, we continue. So chapter 3 is based on parables. Maybe I make use of the time to explain here. This book, which is volume 15, Just now I flick through. It's quite good. There's a summary at the back. I read you this one, easier to understand. This Dhamma flower, Lotus Sutra, it is explained. In this sutta, which was spoken in the last period of the Buddha's teaching, means the last phase before his parinibbana, the Buddha proclaimed the ultimate principles of the Dhamma, means the supreme vehicle teaching, which unite all previous teaching into one. When completed, the translation of the entire sutta and commentary will comprise an estimated 15 to 20 volumes according to Hsuan. The following are those volumes that has been published to date. So volume 1, which we have finished, is based on the foreword by Venerable Master Hsuan. We discussed the 5 periods and the 8 teachings of the Tian Tai school, and then analyze the school's 5 profound meaning as they relate to the sutta. Then the last portion explained the life of Tipitaka Master Kumara Jiva, who translated the sutta from Sanskrit into Mandarin. Then volume 2 we also finished. Chapter 1 Introduction, describing the setting for the speaking of the sutta. The assembly that gathered to hear the Buddha's emission of light. The question asked by Maitreya Buddha and the response given by Manjushri Bodhisattva. Then volume 3, which we just completed, chapter 2. The expedient methods or devices. After the Buddha emerged from Samadhi, he speaks of the vast merits and virtue of the Buddha. Sariputta beseeched him to expound further on this. After his third request, the Buddha consents and for the first time proclaimed that all beings, without exception, can become Sammasambuddha. And then, volume 4, chapter 3 is this one that we are covering, a parable. So the Buddha explained the purpose of his teaching by means of an analogy of an elder who tried to rescue 500 children who are absorbed in playing, while playing in a burning house. So this one is the chapter on the parables. Then there are all the other chapters which I will cover later. Okay, now we continue. So the sutta, chapter 3, starts by saying, thereupon Sariputta with joyful enthusiasm rose, placed his palm together, gazed reverently at the world-honored one's face. Okay, then the outline is Sariputta is leading. Sariputta is led to understanding. Then the commentaries. So this, the third chapter of the wonderful Dhamma Lotus Flower Sutta is called a parable. This corresponds to the metaphorical, one of the 3 styles of writing used in the Book of Odes, which was inspirational, narrative, and metaphorical. A parable is used because the doctrine or teaching is so profound that if it weren't spoken outright, no one would understand it. An analogy must be drawn to something else so that people can understand the principles involved. Thereupon means right after the second chapter, the expedient devices has been spoken and the entire assembly has received prediction of Buddhahood. Sariputta, the disciple foremost in wisdom, with joyful enthusiasm rose from his seat in the midst of the great assembly place his palms together and gaze reverentially at the honored one's face, pure and filled with delight in body, mouth and mind. Actually, body, action and speech. Yeah? Oh, sorry. Speech, action and thought. Sariputta spoke to the Buddha. So the second part of the sutta says, and said to the Buddha, now, having heard this sound of Dhamma from the world-honored one, my heart rejoices, and I have obtained what I had never before. So that is the beauty. Yes? Outline, Sariputta explained himself. Prose, telling of the three kinds of joy, rejoicing. So this part, I think we stop here. Session 2, for those who are new, especially Sister Singhua from Singapore, is meditation reporting followed by whatever question that you have, you can ask. It's a Q&A session, and you can also make use of this session to share whatever understanding that you have, especially the topic on Dharma in daily life, means how in the midst of life when you develop the cultivation, you develop certain understanding, then you would like to share all this understanding. Then the other one is the meditative experiences. Then reporting on meditation is very simple. You just report exactly how you do the meditation. Then you got any question, you can ask after that. Then while you report the meditation, I will know how to guide you based on what you report. You don't have to add in anything. You just tell me exactly what you do during that half an hour session of awareness-based meditation with the instruction I've given you, whether you understand or not. Because if you develop the understanding, then you progress very fast. If you don't develop the understanding, you try your luck to do, then normally you may not be able to develop the progress so fast. Because without understanding, you cannot really meditate correctly. Your meditation must be developed with understanding, the cultivation. Like I explained, awareness-based meditation. So, at least as a cultivator, you must know what you are doing in the name of meditation. When you want to meditate, what is it that you understand that can lead to progress in such activity, like meditation? That one is very important.
Good evening, Kayanamitas.
Yeah.
Today's lesson, I think towards the end, that part about the parable, I think there's one part that says, if the Dharma was taught directly, just not many people will understand or appreciate it. It is through all the examples and the explanations and life experiences, I think it really shows us how to apply and how it can really help us. I think that has been very true for the last few years as I learned the Dharma. And I really appreciate how the Buddha Dharma can be so practical. I think when I was younger in Sunday school also, I learned to recite the Four Noble Truths, but being 7 years old, 8 years old, old age, sickness and death is just a word. I have no idea what growing old is like, what being chronically ill is like, or having someone pass away or something pass away, how it will really feel when you are left with nobody in your family. So all these I truly cannot appreciate, no matter how many words or how many expedient means. I think that people might have written in books. It is only through living life that I find it really can bring out the meaning of the Buddha Dharma.
Very good.
That's what I want to just share.
Okay. Just to add on to what Soo Yee has shared, which is very good. But this parable, you remember, is about children playing with their toy in a burning house. You know what is a burning house or not? You are living in the existential world, which is our society. You know why the parable says a burning house? Actually, suffering is everywhere. Every moment, every instant, the reality, conditioning, suffering via sakayaditi. So these children, they still didn't see the danger, understand? It's just like a burning house, actually burning you, tormenting you, every moment, every instant. And that is the parable, really. So during that time when they are so young, like Soo Yee said, you go and talk to them. Hey, the first noble truth reality, birth always sickness and death is suffering. They say the hell with you. As kids, they are full of energy, enthusiasm, life. They just want to play. Then they have their own fun and activity, Sunday school, or whatever. So they will not have time for all this. That's why Dhamma unique condition for them to arise. So condition for them to arise is not easy. So when you can see the big picture, you cannot just rush in and tell the kid, you all are so deluded. Then ask them to learn the Dhamma. I tell you, nobody will learn from you. Everybody will run. That's why they use skillful means. What are the skillful means they use? I think Soo Yee can remember. They teach you chanting. Then they teach you how to actually recite the Pali chanting and all those things, the Pali words. Then sing song, hymns and all those things. Then get you involved in activity. Kid activity. The Sunday school got a lot of activity. Then they give you food and all those things. So these are the things that will draw them to the temple to attend Sunday school. Of course, different parents bring their children there for different reasons. I still remember during that time, the middle 80s. Early 80s. Soo Yee born in 1980. A lot of parents, they worry if they don't bring them to the temple, when they send their children to school, they will be influenced by other religions and all those things. Then some they send to church, study the Christian religion. All that. So different parents has different reason for actually bringing their children. The way they bring their children up, educate them, and out of concern, love, and care, they will make certain decisions. So, based on that understanding, that's why the teaching has been set out in a different approach. Means the approach to teaching, they have to start off with what we call the expedient devices or provisional teachings. So later on when we go through the parable, they give another example which is very good. It's just like instead of panicking the children who are playing inside, they didn't know that it's burning and all those things. So they actually entice them with the toy, all those things, put them on a cart and tell them, you go with the cart. There are a lot more toy and beautiful things outside there. That's why they managed to take the kid out and save them from the burning house. So that is the parable. So based on what Soo Yee shared, I think you all should actually reflect. Because when you first encounter the Dhamma, unless your past cultivation is very unique, very special, you will not search for this one. Most people, when they go through life, they got no time for Dhamma, especially nowadays kids, where the level of sensuality and the competition and the urge to succeed, to compete, and to be successful, that one actually like overwhelm the spiritual need. It's only later when they confront problem, when they confront life's reality, that they couldn't cope and understand or resolve. And then they seek. And most of them, because of karmic, they seek those that entangle them more. You were entangled with all the so-called what they call, what is the English one? Not the real one. Like those who are out to scam you and take advantage of you. You go and seek medium, feng shui, all those things. Then do a lot of funny things. Then consult the wrong people, get the wrong advice, lost a lot of money. So believe in this, believe in that. Then ultimately not able to meet up with the correct teaching or people who can really teach you and guide you to understand this teaching and develop the ability to free your mind, to become enlightened beings. So these are what we call the realities of life and existence. That's why the advice of the Buddha is to avoid all evil, do good, and purify your mind. Then you take care of your karma. Once you take care of karma, karma take care of your life. But if you don't take care of karma, when you come, you will confront a lot of misery, a lot of suffering. That's why most living beings, especially human beings, they suffer a lot. Some, despite their materialistic success and wealth, they also in between, when they confront the First Noble Truth realities without understanding, they become miserable. They suffer, badly afflicted, very traumatic and all those things. Okay, so you want to continue?
As I was listening, then I came to reflect on the many occasions that when we suffer, it is unnecessarily aggravated when I am not, I feel that it is not supposed to happen in a way that this is a bit hard to articulate, because it's like when I hurt my finger, right, it became a serious surgery, right. There's some part in me deep down that say, if it was a big accident, I injured my finger was okay, but washing dishes, I'm not. I cannot I cannot forgive that. How can this happen? I don't like it shouldn't happen. I want to fight with reality. That's why I become even more negative about what happened. It's like when someone is scolded, if they're scolded by someone elder and more authoritative or more knowledgeable and wiser with all the qualifications, they might say, okay, I can take it. But if a small kid with no qualifications scold you, you say you cannot take it. Actually, the reason is really our ego. That is a very exaggerated version. These are two examples I can think of. But every time I notice that when I'm extremely negative of a situation, it is because I am fighting reality. That means I believe that I can be in control and it shouldn't happen like that. I was either making silly mistake or other people people made silly mistake or I made silly mistake. This shouldn't happen. That is the kind of feeling that aggravates the situation, that makes it into suffering. This is finally how I understand the third noble truth that says suffering need not be. It is not that you break a finger, the pain shouldn't happen. The pain will be there, but all the resentment and all the negativity that aggravates the whole situation, that makes it drag on for years and sometimes never actually resolves itself.
Attachment is all about.
That is the suffering that need not be. These are things that
when you hold on to all this memory, thinking that this is something you cannot forgive yourself. How can it happen and all those things? But later on, when you understand, you look at it differently. That's why you saw the conditioning like it's meant to be. Actually, her case, that one is also a very good example. Maybe explain a little bit. Actually, my wife saw the wash dish on something like quite fun to have, buy back. So for the first time, Sui put on the thing and put on the soap and all those things, and was washing the plate, And because it's something new, they easily slip away from her hand. So when it slip away, our tendency is to catch it, isn't it? Correct or not? Because you don't want the plate to actually break or shatter or whatever. But the thing is, when it happened, that's why it's coming, the conditioning or they're meant to be. She will go and use the other finger, which is without any glove or what, to go and catch it. And catch it after it shattered. That's why the blood all came out. And of course she understands. She didn't panic. Then she just came out and showed me the hand. I said, don't worry. So we attend to it. Then immediately we took her to see GP. None of the GP there to see her. Because when you talk about glass shatter, they also cannot do. It's not a normal cut.
Finger a lot nerve.
Finger also got a lot of nerve. And they cannot 100% sure that they can fix it. So they advise us to go to the hospital, the emergency one. So luckily we went. Then of course we have to go through it. Then we were lucky because there was a doctor there who know how to attend to it. Then fix the finger. And I think it healed after a few days, but take a long time to recover. Where she got to no physio.
If
Dr. J give you the ball.
But no, if immediately that day sewn by a specialist, the nerve would have been connected back.
Oh, okay.
But condition is such.
Correct, yes. So because of what happened, I think, okay lah. So far, I think the finger slightly not perfect. But that is what karmic conditioning is all about. You can see coming or no, like you cannot run or no. It's not on hindsight like what Sui say. How can I be so foolish? Washing a plate on my break, let it break lah. Why I go and hold it and touch it? All this is not a reality. That is what your Sankara will tell you. That if I have not done this, if I have not done that, if my mother has not bought the thing, all this is not a reality. The reality is, it happened. Means what? Like the Buddha said, whatever arises, there are causes and conditions from the past. So it's like meant to be. You have to go through. And for her, the finger, I think there were two major accidents. One basketball, one also same. That one have to pay back on. These are the karmic things that you have to pay back on. So for me, also when I was young, I told you the green banana, not banana, coconut tree, the green leaf, not the dry leaf. That one from the coconut tree can just flew off and hit my back, the shoulder. That time I was only 7 or 8 years old. And I flew almost 20 feet. I was sitting on a bench with another 2 friends. 3 of us. I was in the center, and he hit me. The 2 at the side, left and right, nothing happened to them. And when I flew 20 over feet, they panicked. They said, what happened? They thought the wind blew me off. But actually when they saw the green, the heavy green leaf from the coconut tree, then only they realized my whole shirt at the back, one hole, then the blood oozed out. But luckily they sent me home there. My dad is a Chinese sensei, medical shop, so he treated me. But there was a scar. It took me almost 20 over years to heal the scar. So it's meant to be. And that time I got no pain, nothing. No. But that area I think not much nerve. No. But a lot of blood came out. They panicked. Actually, my whole shirt was full of blood. So all this you had to pay back. You had to pay back. These are karmic conditioning from the past. I still remember when I was young, I got a lot of this minor cut, nail prick here and there. Then that coconut leaf one is the major one. Apart from that, I don't have any other problem. So because of that, after Form 3, I remember, then all the things that I supposed to pay back already. Then from there onward, like my life become very different. I shine. And everything became very different. After that, it's like, you are so blessed, like meant to be. Everything go my way. Study, life, everything. It just fall into place. Then that is also the time after I started the search. After Form 3, I went to Form 4, Form 5. Form 4, end of Form 4, before Form 5, I start to probe the nature inside. The Bodhi mind actually came out, and I was looking at the sky at night, the clear sky with all the stars, everything, inquiring. Who am I? What am I? What am I doing here? Where that time as a science student I already knew. The universe is so immense, and our Earth is just the third planet now from our solar system now. And our sun is one of the average size star, and there are countless stars in the universe. So we are really very insignificant. At that time I knew, our world population that time maybe 5 billion or what, I cannot recall. I said, one of the miserable 5 or 6 billion on a third planet from our small solar system. Who am I? What am I? To me, I realize I am very, very like a speck of dust in the universe. Like you are nothing, nobody. So insignificant. The world is so insignificant. But yet, my mind broke. Who am I? What am I? What am I doing here? Then suddenly inside my nature, the answer came out. You must meditate to understand. That time I don't even know what is meditation. But that one convinced me. Where I like to see the swordsman show those hermits in the cave, they sit like meditate but they learn kung fu and all those things. I like those shows. That's why from there I developed the interest to meditate. And I don't know what is meditation. Until the first day I went to the uni, I told you, I met Chief Reverend. He gave a very beautiful scientific talk in the science faculty lecture hall, lecture theater. Then I came back that night, I tried to meditate without knowing what is meditation. I sat. The moment I sat, I remember midnight, I wait for my roommate to sleep. I sat. Then I just, based on what I understand and listen, I just do. Then I went into that meditative state. I actually went into the formless rhyme, the infinite space. Then I was inside there for 4 hours without realizing that it was already 4 hours. To me, it's maybe at the most half an hour. But the moment I came out and looked at the watch, it was already 4 hours. And my mind state was completely transformed. I become so still. Then inside me, I said, maybe this is meditation. That's why after that I like to meditate. Then I went into that state very often. Then later on, I went to the temple brick field, where I learned loving kindness, metta, and anapanasati. Then I went into absorption and all those things. So that was how it all started. Then the rest is history. Okay, very good, Sadhu. Sorry. You want to continue or nominate another person?
Maybe one last short part.
Can.
Since you mentioned before I nominate someone. After having numerous accidents with my fingers, now reflect back, it's really karma unfolding. Because 17 years old, I right index finger, play basketball, broke the finger, bent backwards, got blood, got bone, everything. Then 30 years old, play beach volleyball, then the bone sprain, and then now cannot straighten already. That's left hand. Then recently, 40 years old, washing dishes, ring finger on the left hand,
and
cannot
always
now
finger one, you realize,
So can see now that I look back, can see, and actually I'm paying it off very lightly. The most severe one, which is on the right hand and is index finger, I hit it at 17 when I was still young and I could recover. The rest is older and is all left hand. So when I reflect back, actually a lot to be thankful for. Instead of feeling very regretful about it, I'm actually now feeling thankful for it. Okay, that's the conclusion.
Okay.
I'm sorry to hear that Soo Yee faced an accident, but she's taking it very well. Very good.
But that's long time ago, 3-4 years ago.
No, the recent one.
3-4 years ago. You think she's still 40?
Oh,
she's 44 already.
Oh, that was a few years back. Oh, okay. And I was thinking there's a statement you made. You said that you felt like you should meditate to understand.
Yeah.
I felt that too.
Oh, Sadhu. At what age?
Oh, that's when I started reading about the Four Noble Truths.
Oh,
and I
how
thought
old was you then? Before you graduate?
I think about 20.
Oh, that was early,
I
started
got hold of
1970.
I got hold of the book. I went to BMV and they had this book. I think what was that book? The Buddha and his teachings.
Yes.
Yeah.
Narada.
By Narada.
Venerable Narada.
So I took it back to read.
That is a good book.
I took it back to read, and then reading the Four Noble Truths. I said, "Oh, this is very difficult to follow." The first Noble Truth, okay. Then it comes to the second Noble Truth. The cause of suffering is all
craving. They tell you it's craving.
It's craving. So, how to live life?
Don't crave.
And then it occurred to me, maybe I to understand that I have to meditate.
Oh, Sadhu, very good.
Then I went back to BMV to learn. I went back to BMV to go and find out how to meditate. But then I think the timing wasn't right. And he said, you come at night so far away to Brickfields. He said, why don't you go to Chettawan Temple? There's somebody teaching Buddhism there.
Is nearer.
Teaching meditation there. So, but the timing was not right. When I went there, it was under renovation. But there was a small group who was meditating. Group was meditating there, but they sat outside on the.
Chettawan outside is a very airy area. I think they got They got a cot or what? A flat
And
area.
they sat just outside. There's some area that we can sit.
Yeah, high up one, I remember. High up one.
And then the mosquitoes were biting me.
Yeah, a lot of mosquito there. Yeah.
And I cannot kill the mosquitoes, but they were disturbing me. I told the person who was teaching meditation, I said, I'll come back another time.
Okay.
And I clean forgot about it.
Oh.
I never went back.
Until much later.
Yeah. It was very funny. Until I went to work, I was busy studying, and then went to when was working and set up a family, had children, all forgotten all about that.
Yeah.
Until one fine day, there was no event on. Every Friday we normally go for bowling, but that Friday was not
you and
available.
Raymond.
But was not available. So I sat down saying, what should I do? And then I remember I was supposed to go back to Chittawan temple. So funny. And I went back.
Yeah.
I went back, and the monk told me, you come on another day, and then they have meditation, and that's how I resumed my meditation.
So
And the
means
Buddhist,
the timing. You have to wait until then. Means you have to wait. Yeah. That's
yeah,
how
so
you
funny.
continue.
But then out of blues, I can think of, I'm supposed to go back.
Yeah, it's not out of the blue. It's your timing. The time has come for you to come back. Otherwise, I will not come out to teach. Because of you, I came out to teach. That's why the conditioning like meant to be. So a lot of things you will never understand until when the causes and conditions manifest. That's why understanding karmic causes and conditions behind is very important. In fact, you look at life, all living beings when they go through life, most of them cannot understand causes and conditions. They will start to blame. Sometimes blame others, sometimes blame themselves. Then sometimes cannot come to terms with what happened, the reality and all those things. So all this is due to their lack of understanding of this nature's law of cause and effect. We call it the moral causation, the law of karma. When you cannot see it coming, then you will always have this, what they call unhappy mind. Why me? Why like that? Why so sweet? How come these people are like that? How come society is like that? How come the world is like that? So you blame everything. Why politicians like that? Then everything in the newspaper, you read the headline, you also want to comment, keep on non-stop and all things. Then especially when you confront First Noble Truth reality without understanding, you suffer, become miserable. Then when things don't go your way, also you suffer. Then as you grow up, you will have more problems. Disease, sickness, aging, all these related problems. Then separation, very often. Relationship failure, also very often. Then when you are with people whom you don't like, relationship problem is the worst. I think a lot of people cannot cope on. Then family problem. Then disease, sickness, financial. That is also a major problem. So when we cannot understand the causes and conditions behind, means you don't have the Dhamma understanding, then the mind becomes negative. And all this negativity of sankhara or thought process is the result of past karmic action. That's why a lot of things you realize you have to pay back, means you have to pay back. It's not for you to say why. There is no such thing as why. Like the Buddha said, whatever arises, there are causes and conditions already set from the past. And under the fifth daily contemplation, he said, each and every one of us, living beings, not only human beings, we are all born of our karma, heir to our karma, conditioned and supported by our karma. And you are what you are because of your karma. So what else can it be? Your life is almost entirely 99.99% dependent on karma. Where you are born of it, you inherit everything that karmic nature sent to you. Then you are conditioned every moment, every instant by karma. Then you are what you are because of karma. So if that is the case, if you don't take care of karma, then all this that happen is your karmic debt, the karmic conditioning that you have created from the past. And when they come, you lack Dhamma understanding or the mindfulness and the wisdom to see all this movement and arising, then you suffer. You become afflicted. You cannot come to terms with those reality. Inability to come to terms with life reality is a cause of suffering. Where you want things your way, which is not nature's way. That's why the Buddha, under the First Noble Truth final summary, he said, in short, it is due to your sakkayaditthi, that condition, your grasping, your clinging, your holding on to this five aggregate of form and mind that I call dukkha. That's why the upadana khandhas, the grasping aggregate, are dukkha. So that one is the final summary. So you cannot see that, means you don't have the Dhamma understanding. Why do we grasp to the five aggregate of form and mind, where we believe we are real, we exist? That's how the evil roots of selfishness, possessiveness, anger, aversion, envy, jealousy, and delusion, they set forth, triggering of fear, worry, anxiety. So all these mind states are the result of the three evil roots of greed, hatred, and delusion, born of sakkayaditthi. Without sakkayaditthi, all these three evil roots cannot manifest. Because when we think we exist, we want to own things, we want to have things, we want to possess things, we want to hold on to things, believing that we are real and all this can be mine. So that's how suffering comes to be. Then when we cling onto this physical body, we worry about this physical body getting old, getting sick, and finally die. Then we worry about separation, because we think they are our loved ones. They are our, what they call, prized possession. So all those wealth that you think you own, your property, your whatever antique and reputation of all those career achievement that you have built up, you cling onto them, you hold on to them, and you become emotional over them. So when things reverse, when conditions cease to be, then you lose them all. Then, like the Buddha taught us under the 8 worldly conditions, these are the reality. These are worldly conditions. Wherever there is gain, there will be loss. That's why you have this 8 worldly conditions: praise and blame, fame and ill fame, then happiness and sorrow and all those things. So these are the reality that you need to develop Dhamma understanding to be at peace. Otherwise, you will get yourself entangled through lack of understanding of the nature's law that governs life and existence, especially the law of karma, the causes and condition behind. Okay? You can continue. Sorry. Yeah.
Oh,
So did you attend the meditation class?
the meditation class in Chetawan Temple.
Yeah, you attended.
Yeah. Then also was attended. Then I progressed further.
Oh, sadhu.
I progressed further in Dharma, Dharma, learning the Dharma. That's all.
Yeah, learning the Dhamma. That is the
learning
first
the
phase.
Dharma, but still very green. Don't really understand.
Yeah, because that time is still at the knowledge level, mostly knowledge level.
Still get very angry. Still.
Yeah, because these are the reality of life and existence. Because the form and mind that doesn't have the Dhamma understanding, they will still react to sense experience. Yeah, we want things our way. We still have Sakaya Ditti at that time. So all this will manifest. That's why jealousy, emotion, sadness, sorrow, lamentation, fear, worry, anxiety, all these will manifest. That's why it's not easy to cope with life. And the parable analogy of a burning house is really true. Everything is burning. You remember the fire sermon?
A fire sermon.
The eye is burning. The ear is burning. The
With
senses
desire.
are burning. So everything you come to perceive and see is burning hot. No, it's going to catch you and torment you without you realizing it. So all this is what the teaching is. When you have the understanding, you really see the danger. And the fire sermon is very beautiful. Everything is burning. Then the Buddha asked, with what is it burning? With the evil roots of greed, hatred, and delusion. So that's how. Then you start to develop mindfulness to see the sense data approaching is burning. The perception that the mind creates is burning. So every stage is burning. So the paticca samuppada, unless you are mindful, heedful, you cannot see, you cannot understand. Then you cannot realize the non-self aspect. That this form and mind is not a permanent, unchanging entity. Hence, it's not you. It doesn't belong to you. This one is your vehicle, karmically conditioned out from the karmic nature for you to come to this existential world. And this one is dependent originating, condition arising, causal phenomena, go the way of nature. That's why it's not you, not a permanent unchanging entity. But living beings who are not enlightened, who don't have the Dhamma understanding, cannot see all this, cannot understand all this. To them, it's like very real. That's why their ego, their egoic thought process, they are very emotional, very strong. Their views, their opinion, their conditioning, their belief system, all this create a lot of sankhara activity that actually torment them and cause them to create negativity of karmic, hit out at others, and get angry with others, become emotional, plan, scheme, and do a lot of negative intent, action, speech, and thought processes that lead to continuous build-up of karmic. That's why without the Dhamma training, without mindfulness, without the understanding of the teaching, you cannot follow the advice of the Buddha to avoid all evil by keeping precept. To keep precept also you need mindfulness, awareness, sati. Then to cultivate the third and fourth right effort to actually purify the thought process also is a big cultivation. Then after that, meditate the 5 ways to overcome unwholesome thought, unwholesome speech, and unwholesome. That one is a whole field of cultivation. Pati, the phase 2 of Dhamma. Okay, I think we should end already.
I have to thank Brother for explaining a lot of all these final points, which in the end only realize, oh, okay, we have to accept, we have to see our own faults.
the correct word. Because with wisdom you can accept. Because like the Buddha said, whatever that arise, there are already causes and conditions behind. Means the causes and conditions already set. It cannot be otherwise. It has to go this way. Understand? That's why accept. Doesn't mean you don't act. No, you accept what happened, then you act. When you accept, you don't get angry. Understand? You don't react. You don't stir. Means no suffering, no negativity. Because if this is karmic, I do what I have to do. Understand? If I need to ask for forgiveness, repentance, I do. Then if I need to make sure that I won't repeat all this, then I follow the advice of the Buddha to cultivate. Then after that, I invoke power of merits to turn around. Because the moment I follow the advice of the Buddha, I actually avoid all evil, do good, and purify the mind already. Means I develop a lot of spiritual wholesomeness, merits. Then from there, when I invoke power of merits for causes and conditions to turn around my life, to set up the causes and conditions to avoid the foolish and meet out the wise, all this will take effect. Where it's based on understanding how the nature's law work and function. Very good, Ijay, sadhu.
Okay, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu. Let us rejoice. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, we will share merit, transfer merit, then we will end. Akka satta cha bhumata devanaga mahindika punyang tang anumoditwa jirang rakantu lokasasana etawata chamehi sampadan punya sampadan sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampati siddhya idang me nyatinang hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo idang me nyatinang hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo idang me nyatinang hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo devo asatu kalena sasa sampati hetu cha vito bhavatu loko cha raja bhavatu dhammiko imina punyang kamena mame bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yawa nivana patiya sadhu sadhu sadhu. Okay, you all can now pay respect mindfully to Lord Buddha, Kuan Yin Bodhisattva, and all the worthy ones. Then we will end the whole Zoom session. Thank you for your participation. Sadhu.